I've never done the hot seat before.
Haven't you?
I'm really
in all
nervous.
these years?
I know.
You're all on
ready.
your own now. He is. He's ready with his phones. In fact, we're going to go straight to the phones. We're going to go to line 2. Hello, who's on line 2?
Hi, it's Emma from Cheshire.
Hello, Emma. You sound very cheerful.
You live near
today.
me?
Yeah,
Gary, can you just blow me a kiss before I start, please?
Oh, you definitely will. In that one?
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
My question is, I know that Madonna chose you to record Love Won't Wait, but as you're a great songwriter yourself, why did you choose this as your new single and not a song of your own?
Do you know, I always struggle writing the faster songs, the poppier songs, so that is the reason why you'll see in the past we chose records like Relight My Fire and Only Takes a Minute Girl. It's always the up-tempo records I can't manage to write, so that's why I picked it.
Okay,
Is that all right?
thanks very much.
Very good.
Thanks,
See you soon.
See ya. Bye in Cheshire.
Oh, right. Now, Natalie, what's your question for Gary?
When you released your first single, you decided not to get interviewed by a teen magazine. Why?
I was interviewed by I was interviewed by Smash Hits on my first single.
Someone's
You
got
obviously
their
don't buy
facts
Smash
wrong
It.
on this show this morning. Oh, so you did?
Yeah, I did.
There you go. There's your answer to that question.
Did you make a kind of conscious effort, though, to not do certain interviews with certain magazines?
I think every time you choose different magazines to do different interviews with, that way you're being seen by people who read, like, Top of the Pops magazine or whatever else. It's always good to change, always good to move around.
There we go.
Like your shoes.
Okay.
Thanps, Gary.
Yeah.
Oh, where are your shoes from? Let's go to line 3. Who's on line 3?
Well, it's Sarah from Somerset.
Hello, so you're through to Gary. What's your question?
I'm finding it hard to write some songs. Did you find it hard when you started, and have you got any tips for me?
Still, no, do you know what? I think that time in the studio is as important as time out of the studio. So if you can't come up with anything, you need to go away for a bit, leave it for a bit and come back. Because it's usually sometimes 2 or 3 months before I can get in the studio. I come home and I'm full of inspiration. So that I'd stay out the studio a little bit longer and then try going back in again.
You don't do things like walking on, you know, beautiful country hillsides in a big cape and things like that?
Oh yeah, do all that. Yeah, that's as well as time out the studio.
Thanks for the call.
Thanks very much, Sarah. OK, back to studio. Chris, what's your question?
Do you think it's possible for 3 members of a boy band to all have successful solo careers?
Do you know, I think that all 5 members of Take That are stars in their own right. So that's why I think it will be possible for everyone to have success. I think everyone's got a very different talent, a very different style of music. So I think that's why it will be possible.
Thanks, Chris.
Excellent. Let's go back to the phones. We're going to go to line 1. Who's on line 1?
Sharon from Hereford.
Hi, Sharon.
Hello.
You're through to Gary. What's your question?
Does it annoy you when you still have the title Take That instead of just your name?
Do you know what? I'm very, very, very proud of the years we spent as the band. I loved it. They're probably the best years of my life, so I'll always celebrate those years, so I don't mind it at all, no.
There we go.
There you go.
Excellent. Thank you very much. See you later.
Thank you.
Have a good summer.
Jeff, what's your question?
It is the hot seat, isn't it?
It is the hot seat,
Can't
yes.
keep up.
A band like you two share their money equally. Do you think if you had done this, Take That would still be together?
Oh, good grief. How old are you?
Obviously very good at
You
cash.
should be in bed. No, do you know, we always shared our money equally. Obviously, the only extra money I received was for songwriting. And I think when one person does something that another person doesn't do, then surely they should be paid separately. But as for the money from touring and record sales, of course, we all shared the money.
There you go. There you go.
Democracy.
Question.
There you go.
Question. We're going to go to line 4. Who's on line 4?
It's Laura from Bournemouth.
Hello, Laura.
Laura.
You're through to
Hello.
Gary. What's your question?
And how are you, Gary?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good.
Were you embarrassed by the fact that the security guards didn't recognise you at the Brit Awards?
Do you know what? I've had trouble getting in here today as well. But it's actually funny looking around the audience because they're all saying, who's he? Doesn't half look like Ronan from Boyzone. No, I think that possibly we're a generation ahead of the youngsters now. It's become very noticeable to me recently. Because when I started, I was 20 years old. And, you know, our fans then were like 12, 13. And of course, now I'm 26, so our fans are 17, 18. You know, they've moved a generation on. But no, I don't mind that at all. I think that more so than ever now, I don't look like I used to do. And that's a good thing for me. I don't
I
mind
think
it
it's
at
a
all.
very good thing.
Yeah.
Actually. No, I'm only kidding. Just the
Thanks, Zoe.
the white.
That's lovely.
Moving swiftly on, thanks for your call.
Sue, our director, thinks you look like Tom Cruise, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
She says
Why
that
not?
to her
Thanks for your
as well.
call, then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Cleo, what's your question for Gary?
Do you think it was really necessary to set up national helplines around the world when Take That split up?
Do you know, I think it was obviously a distressing time for a lot of youngsters because, you know, I get a lot of letters every week and, you know, some people's lives depend on pop stars. I think often we don't realise how important, you know, as idealistic stars we are, how important we are in youngsters' lives. And that's why I think it was important because, you know, there's lots of children out there. Luckily, I've been lucky enough to have a good upbringing, but there's lots of children out there who could have had their mum and dad being divorced at the time, who feel completely isolated on their own, and they turn to music at a time like that. And I think that is the reason why we set up helplines, that there was a lot of youngsters feeling very distressed at the time, and they wanted to talk to somebody about it. So in that way, communication's always important.
Thanks, Cleo.
I think it really did help a lot of people. I was distressed.
Was you?
Myself.
I was.
I didn't ring the helpline. No, I talked to some Take That fans myself, actually. Let's go to line 5. Who's on line 5?
Rowena Weeder from Oxford.
Hello, you're through to Gary. What's your question?
Would you ever consider releasing a single with either Robbie or Mark?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think further on in the future, I mean, both Robbie and Mark are very, very talented people, and I thoroughly enjoyed my 5 years of working with them. So I think, you know, maybe when we've all done our solo artist thing for a couple of years, I'm sure that not only with Robbie and Mark, but I'm sure we'd all get back together one day. I think we had too much of a good time. That I think in 10 years' time or so, we'll be sat around bored thinking, what can we do? Hey, let's get the band back together. We're on a mission from
Not
God.
like the Monkees, though. Please don't be like the Monkees.
Oh, no, we won't be that old. I'll tell you what, though, I've had a think that if we do a Take That reunion, it's going to have to be soon because I can't be dancing around in another 10 years. I'm struggling now.
Oh, he's so young. Listen to him. Thanks very much for your call.
Thank you.
We've got time for one very quick question from Terry.
What sacrifices did you make for Take That, and were they worth it?
I don't know if we made a lot of sacrifices. I think our lives were changed a lot. I think they are when you're part of something that's very successful. But I feel that all the sacrifices we made were only beneficial, really, because, you know, luckily, because of all the years that I was in a band like Take That, I'm here today and I feel experienced and I'm probably more confident than I've ever been before, and that's because of all that time we were together as a band. So I think any sacrifices we made were definitely beneficial to where we are now.
Okay, thanks for your question then, Terry. And a round of applause, I think, for Gary Barlow.
Fans, you also get